Welcome to another Figuring Out Japan video, and in this video I'm going to be doing a comparison between some of the largest LEGO Pirate series ships that have ever been released. So what we have here is the Imperial Flagship, released in 2010, and it's about 1660 pieces, which is about 750 pieces more than the next biggest LEGO Pirate series set ever released. But what I thought I'd do is just show visually the size comparison to some of the other sets that have been released over the years. So first I'm actually going to start off with a base. So what I have here is the Trading Port set, quite a famous set. And you can actually see that the ship is much bigger than the base, and obviously height wise significantly bigger as well. So definitely a big difference in that. I actually commented on that when I showed the Eye Schooner with the Rock Refuge or Port Jamaica. Just the size difference with the bases. But this actually in front of you, that's only about a 600 piece set and is the biggest biggest Pirate series base ever been released. So, but I think, given that this is a bit over a third the number of pieces, it actually stacks up okay. So that is the Imperial Soldier base. Just need to be very careful not to break that. I am holding the camera with one hand, so I apologize if it's rocking around as I get the other sets. So this here, obviously a well-known set, the Caribbean Clipper, released in 1989. It was actually the largest Imperial Soldier ship released until the one in the back. So it held that title for 21 years, from 1989 to 2010. And it is still the second largest Imperial Soldier ship that's ever been released. It's actually less than 400 pieces. It's not a very big ship, but very, very expensive. I can only suspect mainly because it's an old set and very much a vintage set, and also because it was, the largest one to get before the one in the background. And the one in the background is a very expensive set, even though it is relatively new. But you can just see there the difference. It holds up pretty well. They really packs a punch for whatever it is, 370 piece set, I think. It's under 400, I remember that much. Oops. You can see the backs of them there. So that there is the Caribbean Clipper. Now the next one is actually a custom build, but it is effectively the same as the Black Sea's Barracuda, also known as the Dark Shark. So this was the first pirate ship ever released. And it's the one with the red and the white sails, but as I said, this has been modified to a blue coat soldier ship. This apparently, according to Brickset, was 909 pieces, so it's about 750 pieces less than the one in the back. But as you can see, it actually holds up, pretty well. It's definitely smaller, but it's not dwarfed by any means. And in fact, the top of the cabin here is actually taller than the top of the cabin on the other ship. But the overall total size is a bit bigger because of this backing part. But the actual floor, or the roof of the cabin, is actually a little bit shorter than this one. So Now this one actually juts out a little bit, so if I line up the base, it's probably about there. So you can see the size difference at the front. That one. And the height as well. But you know, if you sort of had these two kind of fighting, I don't know, I think it'd be a pretty even fight. And this actually was Lego's best attempt and pretty much only attempt over the years at making a double layered or double decked ship before they actually did the full thing all those years later. So I'll just get this out of the way. So again, apologies for the shaking camera. Being very careful not to just drop these or break these. So here we go. They're pretty heavy. So this actually is, or was, the largest Pirate Series ship, or Pirate Series set rather, released. It's now obviously the second biggest because of the Imperial Soldier one at the back. But this one, officially again, according to Brickset, was 3 pieces bigger. So it was 912 pieces bigger. Sorry, 912 pieces, but still 750 pieces smaller than the one in the back. But again, you can see just visually, it's not a huge difference. Obviously it has less sails and whatnot, but it's not exactly dwarfed by the one in the back. You can see the deck is notably higher on the one in the back, but the cabin's not a huge difference in size. As we look at the backs, got a little bit too much light there. Again, not a massive difference really. And if these two were to fight, it would be a relatively even fight, I would say. 4 cannons on each side, same number of minifigures. Yeah, so now it's worth noting that this actually, so the hull ends here, but because it juts out so much, if I line them up, you can see the difference. And the ship in the back has one more middle piece, so a middle piece is about that much. So this one has 3 and the one has at the back 4, and then the 2 end pieces, so 6 whole pieces for the one in the back and 5 for the one in the front. So there was just a visual comparison of the sets. I've reviewed all of these sets individually. I'll have all the links to those in the description of this video if you want to check them all out. But I think the summary really is that the one in the back is obviously a huge ship, but if you just look at, you know, how much kind of size they look visually, even though these other ones are smaller, the vintage ones, they still really pack a punch, and they look pretty good in comparison. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. Thanks for watching.